So legs, really, really interesting weekend. We have the Suns and the Pelicans meeting twice in the next 3 days. Both matchups are in New Orleans. We know Phoenix is coming off that blowout, that embarrassment against Boston on Wednesday. And here we have the Pels. They've won 5 in a row, 10 of their last 12. So how big of an opportunity do they have this weekend?
Yeah, handle this. First of all, I want everybody out there to be honest with themselves when I ask this question. Would you have said the New Orleans Pelicans were in first place if I quizzed you on the Western Conference right now as we sit here in early December? I don't think anybody would have noticed it unless you really follow the NBA every single day. That's how good they have been lately. This, to me, is an absolute statement game and an opportunity for the Pelicans. They've been on this winning streak 10 out of 12 without Brandon Ingram for a large chunk of that, and they've been doing it with their defense primarily. You take a look at what they've done, giving up just over 102 points a game during that stretch. I mean, those are really low numbers by today's NBA standard. I think 23 teams score 110 points a night in the league, and they've only given that number up twice during this stretch. So their defense has been top shelf. They're doing it without Ingram. And, of course, Zion Williamson is going to carry his share of the load, 60% shooting in the paint. He's carrying the load while C.J. McCollum really struggles with his shooting. So this is a team, to me, that still has a lot more there we haven't seen. And despite that, they're winning just about every night. But this is an opportunity against a team that was in the finals a couple of years ago, that was the best team in the NBA most of last season, and was in first place just a couple days ago in the West in Phoenix. So for New Orleans, I look at this as an opportunity to let everybody know who follows the NBA. They're legit, they're real, and they're an actual contender in the Western Conference. And for Phoenix, you just got throttled twice in a row with two teams that really you should have been up for. Dallas, after what happened to you last year in the conference finals, they smoke you in Dallas by 20. And then you come back and you get the Boston Celtics, maybe the marquee game of the year to this point, and you're down 40+ in the third quarter in that game. So I expect Phoenix to have a great bounce back here, and that's why this one is so interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, the Pels totally getting it done under the radar, and I bet most folks don't know this either. A third best defensive rating in the NBA. They're right behind the Bucks and the Cavs. That's one of the reasons they're getting it done.
Guess what, though? With the Phoenix Suns losing, that means we get to usher in a new 1 seed out in the West. Zion Williamson led the way for the Pelicans to get their 5th straight win, 104-98 victory over the Detroit Pistons. Brandon Ingram sidelined in this one. Zion had his 6th career game with 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, tying him with Chris Paul for the 4th most in Pelicans Hornets history. And with the win, the Pelicans are now at the top of the conference standings. 16-8 is their record. This is the first time that New Orleans has had the outright best record in the West this late into the season since April of 2008. So Becky, what is the biggest reason that you see that the Pelicans are leading the way in the West right now?
Again, Bayern, they got a lot of role players that are playing elevated minutes. We really haven't seen a healthy NBA, really, across the board. Even Boston's not totally healthy.
Right.
So I think the fact that you're getting these other guys these minutes and you're starting to see these younger players really mature in a little bit, I'm not going to say total changing of the guard, but you're really starting to see these young players step in, flourish. I thought Brandon Ingram has been great before he got there, but put him with Zion, I think they could be special. Valanciunas, I think, is an underrated piece for them. Tremendous screener, does a lot of versatile player for them. So they can beat you in kind of a variety of ways.
Oh, yeah. They can beat you in different ways. And I think
Coffee
the way
beans?
that I will speak to, coffee bean. Real ones know about the coffee bean. It's a long story. I'll tell you later, Becky.
You should
Tell me
say
over coffee.
No, she won't tell you in the break because it's too long for
It's
that.
too long, but I will say this. I did some digging with producer Cesar, and it's all about defense. Defense. Their defense has really turned up, especially in this 5-game win streak. Tied for 1st in defensive efficiency, 2nd in steals, 3rd in opponent field goal percentage, and 4th in blocks. We talk a lot about their offense and those additions and how many great role players have stepped up and continued to develop, getting Zion back. But the reality is they're buying. You know how hard it is to get professionals to play defense? If you're able to do that, that to me is the sign of a team moving in a different direction. And I think this year we're starting to see the Pelicans like everything is like seeming like it's working out the way it should from top to bottom, and now it's translating to the floor.
Star players, good young players, key vets. It seems like the Pelicans have all of the ingredients to make some really good coffee down there.
Yeah.
Well, and also, they're a year under their coach. So when you're trying to implement a new system and get buy-in, right, the players kind of need some success around that. Otherwise, you could lose them.
Right.
And I think that's one of the most impressive things about Boston going back to last year. I remember us playing them earlier. We're like, they're going nowhere. And then come January, Ime Udoka stuck with his guns, and that team ends up in the finals. Because they had the buy-in factor. And I think down when you're talking about their defense, you have to have buy-in factor on both ends. And when you start to get stops and understand these games can come down to 1 or 2 possessions, even in a regular season NBA game.
Well, we get to see the Pelicans
Special
take on the Phoenix Suns tomorrow at 5.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. Happy Friday, and happy Friday indeed. Pelicans versus the Suns. Number 2 versus number 1 in the Western Conference. Everybody's thinking, oh yeah, Phoenix is number 1. Hell no. The New Orleans Pelicans are number 1, sitting at the top spot, whom they took over Phoenix, and now Phoenix is looking for a redemption, try to take that spot back. So Herb Jones is out tonight. Jose Alvarado is questionable, and obviously on the other side, none of the main guys are out. So that leads people to believe that Phoenix is going to win, right? I don't know. I really don't know, because the thing is, the Pelicans, I said this to you guys about a month and a half ago, Pelicans look damn good. And you know, now the media is really picking up on it, saying that these guys are legit. Like, their defense is crazy. Willie Green knows how to coach these guys. Brandon Ingram is out, but you still have Zion Williamson. You still have CJ McCollum, who's a tad bit struggling from the line and also from the three-point line, but still, you got a lot of guys that can step up. Herb Jones is totally underrated defensive player. He is not playing tonight. That could cost the Pelicans some sort of defensive prowess. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, do the Pelicans actually, are they actually going to win this game? And I don't know. I'm kind of rolling with the Pelicans, even though Brandon Ingram is out. Jose Alvarado, he is a difference maker for sure. Herb Jones, he's out. Yeah, no, at the end of the day, the Phoenix Suns are looking to bounce back from their loss from, you know, the number 1 in the entire NBA, Boston Celtics. Devin Booker playing phenomenal basketball. He is clearly an MVP candidate. I said candidate, not like runner-up or not like for sure thing. And Chris Paul, his second game back from injury, he looks to acclimate himself back into the Phoenix Suns strategy, and I think he only got like 4 points last game. So, you know, it's bottom line, this is a legit team, New Orleans Pelicans, and they're going up against the Suns. You know, I knew that they were good. I didn't know they were going to be great, right? They are number 1 in the Western Conference. Unbelievable. You just can't stop Zion and the Pelicans. I think what was the really turnaround point was when they acquired CJ McCollum at the trade deadline last year, and it's paying off dividends. You know, this team is got a very bright future ahead of them. But tonight, I don't know. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me who you guys think is going to win this matchup. Is it the Phoenix Suns or is it the Pelicans? I'm kind of rolling with the New Orleans Pelicans, right? They are phenomenal and they play phenomenal basketball. They got a lot of 3-and-D guys. A lot of people say that Zion Williamson cannot play defense, but if you put him in the paint with, you know, a lot of other guys, then it's, yeah, you can't stop that freight train. I'll tell you that much. So leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me who you think is going to win tonight, Phoenix or the New Orleans Pelicans. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.